Okay, so let's just get started. Also, I apologize for the poor audio quality, but it's the best I can do right now. So, the way Twilight finds out about her mistake is just fantastic. It's a great way to go about the issue and make a more meaningful point that wouldn't have been as good had Twilight just walked upon Rarity in a more casual way, like, without all the dancing. And the What My Cutie Mark Is Telling Me song that follows this scene is good. I would genuinely buy that song if I had some bits. However, Rarity's part towards the end of it is just odd. It doesn't sound like her. But, moving on, continuity. That book from episode 2 of this season, it's finally revealed as Star Swirl the Bearded's journal. But were Celestia and Luna aware that Twilight would become an alicorn if she finished the spell? Or did they just want to know what would happen? Or were they just awaiting her next trial? See, now, how much time actually passed between these? Was it a day, or a month, or a year? I mean, we're shown that time flows differently between episodes. I mean, think about it. Really think that Rarity will wait so long before making her Grand Galloping Gala dress? Like, even more than 2 days, maybe? Or that she would stress about making the other 6 dresses if it was another week or day away, depending on how they traveled? Doesn't seem like her. But, moving on again. So, the main 6's cutie marks are all switched around. But the characters aren't the exact same as the ones they replace. They're sort of like how they see each other. And that's great. That's a very good way to go about this. It's a very good way to make it more creative. Because this has been done a few times before in a few science fiction movies where they just replace the characters. And that's a little unoriginal to me. So now, this episode is a freaking musical. It has a total of 7 songs, which beats out the previous record holder by 3. But having 7 songs in one episode feels like too much. It feels like they didn't have enough time, so they had to use songs to move it faster. This seems to be a problem with MLP in general, as Nightmare Moon and Discord experience this exact same problem, but for different reasons. And this could have been easily fixed by spacing it out more, making it a 2-parter, or just simply making us wait for the other half of the episode after season 2. Like, once Twilight becomes an alicorn and the bright white flash flashes, just end it right there. Keep a spoiler. Make sure everybody watches next week. Or next year. And, well, the songs are actually very good at their job. They just seem to make certain things go faster to fit inside its confined space. They don't actually serve much of a purpose, except for maybe 4 or 5 of them. And, well, ultimately, I just think this episode could have used more time, but others seem to disagree on this matter. So now it's time to go over Princess Twilight Sparkle, the Alicorn. Now, I thought this was shocking in a good and a bad way. But it was shocking to me because I hadn't read the spoilers and really didn't want to read the spoilers. I strayed away from them. And while it opens many new doors for character development, it also decides to sum up the whole series without ending it. Which is just wrong. This should have been a type of deal for a series finale, not a season finale. But, now, during Twilight's coronation, Celestia says that Twilight created new magic. I disagree. She just finished a spell. She literally wrote like maybe 1 or 2... moving on. So, now, in the episode, Twilight starts to glow, and she gets an idea. If she can't remind her friends of who they are, she'll remind them of what they mean to each other. What's the difference? Oh well, if I can't remind my friends of how much they mean to me, one of their friends, maybe I can remind them of what they mean to their friends. That's just... no. That's shallow. That's not really thinking it through. But also, when Spike suggests that maybe Twilight's friends will like their new lives, why does Twilight doubt him? I mean, besides the fact that they suck, they can only get better. It's not like practice ever hurt anyone. But also, this brings up another issue. Did people remember the main 6 that were altered before the spell? Because Spike sure seems to, and so does Twilight, but Twilight's understandable. She cast the spell. But nobody else seems to, unless you count that one scene where they put Pinky up on the water fountain and everybody yells her name. But, yeah. But, no, this isn't a moving on thing. This is actually serious, because it's important to me. I mean, really, think about it. Think about Applejack. She works on a farm with her family. Don't you think that maybe her family would notice that Applejack is busy making dresses while the farm is being lost? Wouldn't people also go to the farm for Pinky in order to smile, or do they just rely on her to come to them that much? Also, wouldn't the animals try to find Fluttershy to help them dispose of the admittedly awful Rainbow? Wouldn't Hoity-Toity notice that Carousel Boutique's dresses aren't up to his standards anymore? Assuming that Suited for Success earned Rarity his repeat business, and that this episode takes more than 2 days in the MLP universe? Why didn't anybody notice other than Twilight? Well, other than the Pinky segment, but we'll move on from that. Also, Twilight, all she did was remind her friends of their true jobs, their true occupation. She didn't change their true self or anything, so why couldn't she have used the Discord Deus Ex Machina memory restore spell? Why? It literally says on the wiki, 1 by 1, Twilight restores the memories and identities of each of her friends by reintroducing them to their correct roles. So why couldn't she have used it? Why? It literally says she restores the memories and identities. And the solution to the problem was to show them to their true roles, which if she had gave them back their memories, they would have remembered their true roles, just like they did when they started doing them. Why couldn't she have used the memory restoring spell? Why?